What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Staincast. Of course, as usual, I'm one of your co-hosts, Mr. Stephen E. With me, as
What's up?
always,
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
it's DL, and we do have a special guest today, returning yet again, this time with actual face cam,
With
Mr.
face
J.
cam.
Moist. Yeah,
He's
with
What's
face
going
cam.
on, fellas? What's going on, fellas?
Thank you for joining
What
us.
is
Thank
happening?
you for having me.
Of course.
Um,
Yeah?
E.
As you guys can see by the thumbnail, this is a little, not a rebrand, not anything, just a little
Been working on
subcategory.
something new.
Yeah. This is part of Staincast Gaming. So the Staincast isn't going anywhere. We're still doing our episodes. We're still doing our weekly episodes, obviously after we come back from break because this is our last episode before our break. But for the future, we did say we were going to be covering video games. So anytime we do cover video games, they're going to be, just presented a little different. Staincast Gaming, etc.
We gotta have the CMO Ho work us up a new intro for our videos then, because the other one's a lot more movie and TV show
That's true.
oriented. Like
That's
we're
true.
gonna need like video games
A
now.
video game one, yeah. We will definitely be getting into that. Who knows? There might be a new intro on this if we get it from him before the episode's posted, but probably not.
The hoe.
So
He don't move that quickly. He don't be expediting.
yeah. So, but of course, before we get into individual games that we wanted to cover, we just wanted to give you guys, a little taste of what our top 5 video games are of all time are. But before we get into that, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to get the question of the week in ahead of time because we just felt it made a little more sense to do it this way. So, of course, as usual, every Saturday-ish, we take to Instagram at the Staincast to ask you guys a lovely question, get you involved, and see what you're thinking. This week, we asked you guys what your first video game that you ever played was, if you can remember. And we had actually some surprising answers. Mainly Mumbarillas. Mumbarillas was very surprising to me, but we'll get into that in a minute. RP24, not to be confused with Chet Sable. He said Godzilla Saved the Earth, which I think is the fighting game for like the GameCube. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what. Hold on, because him and I were talking about it one time. Godzilla Save the Earth. Yeah. It is the fucking the fighting game for the
God.
PS2.
That's rough looking. Honestly, I think I played this.
It's an early 2000s Godzilla game. What do you really expect it to look like? Mumbarilla, and this is the one that really surprised me, said The Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Adventure. For those of you that don't know, The Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Adventure is the worst-selling game in the franchise. It is a 4-player cooperative game for the GameCube that uses the GBA to Game Boy, the Game Boy Advance to GameCube link cable to control and see the maps. So, Mumbarilla, how the fuck was this your first game? Like, I'm not dissing because it's tough, but like, how the fuck was this your first game?
Looks like Club Penguin.
How did you acquire
like,
that, Hag?
Well, how did this?
Yeah. Did you have that all the way from when you played it?
No, I bought this separately.
Is that the game?
Yeah, this is the game.
So
Yeah,
why
I'm
do you own
surprised
it if
you
it's
just had
the
it off
lowest?
rip. Yeah.
If it's the lowest selling game. I mean, no thanks to Hag. You got to be
Because
fucking
I have
kidding
every
me.
Zelda game. I have every
Hag's
Zelda
drying
game.
up the market.
Yeah, fucking. He's the only game in town.
I got all the Zelda games, which we'll get into later. But so sorry, Mumbarilla, great choice. I'm just confused that was your first game. Like I would not have expected it. But he did. He has an older brother, so his older brother probably had it. And that's probably how he played it.
Makes sense.
Jacob said the SpongeBob movie video game on GameCube, which is gas, and I still have it to this day. Fantastic game. If you haven't played it and you can somehow play it, fucking please do. It's actually
good
really
luck trying to play that game.
There's emulators,
I have it.
fellas. There's
Exactly.
emulators.
It's just gonna look like crap. It's one of those things when you're younger. It's like you're just so ignorant to like
it doesn't look that bad.
4 pixels on the screen, but like you play it again,
surprised.
It's like fuck.
Yeah,
I've replayed it recently. It's actually not that bad.
People make patches for old games on like PS2 and PS3 emulators. Like people make some nice patches. It's pretty common.
Yeah. Yeah. Ismo said Tony Hawk skateboard. I'm assuming she means the first, like the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1. There's a lot of Tony Hawk skateboarding games,
Mm.
but
That shit's tough.
I'm assuming she means 1. The Quill said Super Mario World, which is a classic. That's just a classic game. And then Olivia Jones said Simpsons Road Rage, which is another fucking
That's a
classic game,
classic.
PS2 game. If you haven't played that, can always recommend. But thank you all for your answers. But now it's time. We'll let our guests go first. Moist, what was the first game you remember playing?
I think it was either Super Smash Bros. Melee or Sonic Adventures 2 for the GameCube with
Oh,
the
Sonic
Cho
Adventure 2
Garden.
Battle. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. That's the one with the garden? You get them like hatch the eggs and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
game's tough. I remember playing that a lot. That's like yeah, because that was the GameCube, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that game came out on the GameCube. GameCube was like
yeah.
the
The
first
GameCube.
console I remember playing.
Yeah, because I mean, it came out in 2002, so it's like right as we were gaining consciousness and shit
Yeah, yeah,
is when that
yeah.
was out. I
Yeah,
mean, the GameCube was not good. Not it was Nintendo's worst selling console before the Wii U came out. But for me, like that's my favorite console of all time. I love the GameCube. There's so many classic games for it.
yeah,
So, but those are some good choices, Moist. Melee, of course, because
yeah,
Smash is goaded.
yeah.
Smash is
And
always
like my brothers would just like beat me down in Melee.
good.
Just absolutely like beat me down.
It
Hate to
builds
see-
character.
Yeah, it
Yeah, I
does
mean,
build
yeah,
character.
it does build character.
But DL, if you want to go next.
So I didn't even play that many games when I was a kid. I'm not even really 100% sure why. I think it's just because like I had another brother and it's like we kind of like were fighting over just playing the one console and I usually lost because I was younger, unfortunately. But the first one I remember playing, shout out Jacob, the SpongeBob movie, the
That
SpongeBob
shit's tough.
SquarePants movie. That
That
shit
shit's
is
tough.
the episodes like turning the tables on Neptune. That mission is fucking fire. That shit's
I
better
might
than
have
the
to,
SpongeBob movie.
I might have to hook
That
it.
shit's fuck.
If it rains this weekend, I might hook up the GameCube.
That shit goes hard,
It
bro.
goes.
I mean, I played it. So I never really dabbled. Like the first Nintendo console I had was the Wii. Like I never had the GameCube. I never had any
Mhm.
of that stuff. So I was always a PlayStation. But the one I kind of remember, it's more of like flashes. Was the SpongeBob game on PlayStation One that was like black and white? I don't remember what the fuck that shit was called. I don't even think that thing exists anymore. I was trying to find it before this, but like that shit was in black and white. I was like, it was. I was all I remember is I was so fascinated that when you'd open it up, the disc would still be spinning on the PS
Oh, on
One.
the
Like you'd
PS
press the
One, yeah,
little.
yeah,
That shit entertained me more than the games did. It was so fucking stupid. Like I would just press it and like see him spinning around.
yeah. The simple brains of a fucking child.
Oh yeah, exactly. It didn't take a lot. It didn't take much to
Dumb and
entertain
smooth.
me. Yeah, OD.
Yeah,
But yeah, but shout out Jacob. Me and him somehow have the first. We both played that game first, so
yeah.
that's
I mean,
massive.
that's one of my early memories too, of course, because
Yeah,
he's my brother. I grew up with him.
yeah.
But for me, the first like vivid memory I have is this exact copy right here of Pokemon Fire Red.
Mm.
I've played this game to death. I actually traded it away at one point in time to Jared Vogel. Shout
Would you
out to
steal
him.
it back?
No, we traded back for it, or I bought it off him
Ooh.
again. But so this is my original copy of Pokemon Fire Red, and this is my original copy, torn to bits, of the fucking strategy guide.
Nah, strategy
Oh
guides are
yeah,
classic.
From
yeah.
like literally fucking pages are missing. It's missing the back half of the Pokedex, torn to bits. Like I would read this book religiously as a child, going through it, catching my Pokemon. Like I've used this book so much that I know there are wrong things in this. Where it says trainers have Pokemon, they don't. Where Pokemon appear in locations that they don't. Like this book is very wrong.
That's
But
classic.
but
Usually those fucking like how-to books are kind of like not made by the devs of the game. They're kind of just like a
Yeah.
third party.
yeah, but Pokemon Fire Red and I'll get more into Pokemon in a little bit. But
Oh yeah,
my first
there'll be a lot of chatter.
my first game and it's what started my love for fucking all of it, and I still have
Mhm.
all of it and I love it. So yeah, but like we said, thank you guys all for responding.
Yeah, you guys are the best.
You guys had
Anyone who
some
didn't
good
respond,
taste.
once again, you're
Cowards.
soft.
Yeah,
You
you all have,
soft.
you all have some pretty
Bunch
good
of
taste
cupcakes.
in
Yeah, exactly. Soft like shaman. You got to be fucking
soft like
kidding me.
shaman.
You gotta be built for it tough.
They ain't. Anyone who didn't answer ain't built for it tough. Even
Man,
the
but
owner of the Ford didn't
I was
answer.
literally about to say that the one with the Ford ain't built for it tough.
Tough.
No number illustrates this time.
No. Because he
But
actually fucking answered the question. Way to
yeah,
play.
and I'm flabbergasted at it. Like I said, I'm not judging. I'm not dissing because it's a fantastic game. I'm just never expected that to be the first game he played.
I was expecting his first game to be played as like Black Ops 3.
I mean, yeah. So
And he just caught a stray.
Yeah, there it is.
there it is. But I
Fuck.
guess now that we're done with that, without further ado, I guess it's time to get into our lists. Before we get into the actual top five, all three of us, I mean, five games is hard to pick.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh
we
yeah,
have,
especially all time, all
yeah.
genres. Like it's honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's basically impossible because like there's different moods for different games. Same thing with movies and TV shows. Like I've
Mhm.
talked about this before.
Yeah.
Agreed. However, we narrowed it down to the best we can, but we do have
Mm-hmm.
a couple of honorable mentions, and we're just going to list them off to each of us. I'll start with Smash Ultimate, Mario Sunshine, both Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor, God of War 2018, The Last of Us, and Far Cry 3. All of those games are phenomenal, and at some point in time can be interchanged with probably any of these games on my top five list. But um, right now, this is just unfortunately have to fall to honorable mention.
Yep. Moist, did you want to take a crack at your honorable mentions?
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, some of these games are on here because I wouldn't say they're necessarily like great games in like the game sense, but like you just played them so much. So
Oh
I have
yeah.
Smite, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the original one, Counter Strike
Mm,
any version, Super Smash Brothers any version, Halo 3 specifically, and specifically Forge mode, and then one of my
yeah, that's true.
all-time childhood favorites, SSX Tricky. It's like that was a PS2 game. That game is so good. If you've ever
That, I
I
played
don't
it,
think
know. I don't think I played it.
they had
I
like
think they have
that.
GameCube too.
Yeah, they probably had it for GameCube too, and it was like the dance G to the rock rock, like that song would play if you started doing good, and it was just like you would do. It was like a snowboarding game, so you just be like fucking
That's
hitting
epic.
That's
mad
cool.
shit. It was epic. Yeah.
And I guess I'll go with mine. And to your point, Moise, I agree with you so much. Even more than movies and TV shows, like games are just so subjective. Because I mean, you're so like you're the main character or whatever you want to call it in these games. So you're actually playing as them. Like you're not just a spectator. Like you're literally like the driving force of
Hmm.
all these stories and stuff. So it's like even if a game's like some of these games on this list, I don't think they're great. I don't even think they're really that good in some aspects. But I mean, I put so much time into them where I've just really enjoyed it. Where it's like it's just not even
Hmm.
explainable. It's like you give this to someone else to be like, why the fuck have you played this? I'm like, because I had a great time doing it. I don't know what you want me to say. Like, but I'll just do a quick run through. So, some of my honorable mentions: GTA 5 because that game is super fun when you play. Like, it's one of the most like
It's
in terms of
timeless.
like co-op, yeah, exactly. In terms of, and especially when it comes to like co-op and just like playing with friends, like I think that game is like literally infinite potential. You could just drive around the island with a tank like for hours, which I did that, just blowing shit up. And then, but I mean, so you have that Spider Man. I really wish that was on my top five because Spider Man, Miles Morales, and the PS4 are fucking amazing. But I just didn't play them as much as my other top five stuff. Far Cry 3. I liked Far Cry. Which one was? I think it was 5, where it was the father. I don't really remember. That one was pretty
I think
good.
that was 5. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the culty one.
Yeah, that one's fire.
Yeah,
I played that one on
that's a
my
good one.
PC, and that was
Yep.
I had some mods and shit. I was fucking around with it way too much. I was getting that shit looking nice. Um, Minecraft, of course, I had to say it. That's mandatory.
I mean, yeah, that
Uh,
for anyone in our generation.
and
Hmm.
then the two cheese picks are going to be Bloons Tower Defense 5 because that
That
game has
game
a
is
special
goaded.
place
That
in
game
my
is
heart
fucking goaded.
forever. I still play that. I played the game the other day. I'm obsessed with it. It's literally
Bro.
just to kill time. Like
It's
it's
such a
the
good time killer. Such a good
hmm
time.
That
I
game
would
at
literally,
lunch.
yeah, at lunch,
Yeah.
anytime you're in the computer lab at school, I would always play that shit.
It's so mind numbing. It's the same thing with like with the I am flying to the moon one where you're upgrading your rocket or like any of those kind of games where it's like it's kind of just like pick up and put down. Like
Hmm.
you're not invested in it or whatever. And the last one's gonna have to be a quick shout out. If you know, you know. Empires and Allies. It was a Facebook game. They got rid of it, but I was decked out in that game. It
What
was
the hell
like
is that?
It's just some random
Not the
Facebook
game.
game
What the
that
fuck was
me.
you holding?
Oh, my freaking wrist guard that goes
Oh,
on my. I
you're
was just fucking with it. I
Jesus.
was just fucking with it. I don't even know why I fuck with that game, but it was me, Z, and Smoke used to play that shit all the time, and you'd be able to like make. So we'd make accounts, so you could like send each other like special materials that you needed. Like we'd make Facebook accounts just to like send each other that stuff, so we didn't have to wait a day to send it. It was just a childhood memory kind of thing. That's it.
Understandable. But I guess then, without further ado, we should just hop right in to the top five. Now,
Oh,
if you guys have watched any of our rankings, you know that we all are gonna, all go through our number fives, then all go through our number fours, etc., as we do every time. So, I guess DL, you want to start with your number five?
damn it! Let the slander begin. So unfortunately, I'm gonna give this to Overwatch because I have like I think it's more hours compared to actually being good. It's like I have to justify to myself that like I put like over 1,000 hours into this game, so like I have to like say that I like it, even though I don't. Look, I don't. I
You
really
still
don't.
play it. You
Uh,
still actively go out of your way to play it to this day.
no. We're not gonna talk about Overwatch 2. Don't get me started on that.
Yeah,
That's
don't.
not a conversation. I'm not speaking on it. Especially since they canceled PVE now. It's literally
Useless. So
it's a
It's a
fucking.
joke.
joke.
Yeah, and it's
They
a
just
joke.
used it
Like
to sell like more like skins and stuff.
mm-hmm. And the fact that they put it over the original client, like the original app for over, like they can't just let the
Yeah.
two be separate games. It has to be nope. We're literally just updating the app to be Overwatch 2. It's like what the fuck?
Because if they let Overwatch 1 exist, there would be literally
Oh yeah,
zero reason for
mm,
Overwatch 2 and like everyone would know it.
yeah. I mean, it was more of like end of high school, like maybe beginning of college when I actually enjoyed playing the game. Now it's one of those things where like when you're, I mean, I won't even mention where when you're really good at a game, it's like you kind of like it's kind of like an easy lean back. It's like why
Mm.
try out a new game when I know I can fucking pub stomp or whatever you want to call it. It's just I've just been really good at the game for a long time, so that's kind of just why it's on the list. Like it's just fun to play when you're shitting on
Still
people.
Overwatch.
I know. I'm not saying. Look, I don't like the game. I don't enjoy the game, man. But it's like when you put that many hours into a game, it's like I have to justify it. Like I have to say that I like it just because I've literally spent days in that game. Shit's hideous. Don't play it,
That's
please.
so vile. I've there's a reason I've deleted it off my PlayStation
I say
forever.
it just wouldn't be right for me to put it as an honorable mention considering how much I used to play it. That's the only reason why. Like it really could be subbed out for like any of the other honorable mentions, like the GTA's or the Spider Man. But whatever. Fuck it. We're taking the hate on this one.
Damn. Moist, you want to go next with your number five?
Yeah, mine's Spider-Man for the PS4 because I mean I think you guys have both mentioned it already.
Yeah, that
Like
shit
that game is just
hard.
tough. That's like the last game I truly like 100%ed to. Like got
Mm,
everything in, like put mad time in because I just like fucked with it so much. And I still gotta tap
yeah.
into Miles Morales.
That
Yeah.
shit hard
I
too.
mean,
It's
Gotta
a
tap
shorter
into that.
story, but
Yeah,
that
it's
the first one is just whew.
I ain't
yeah.
gonna speak on. I ain't gonna add any of my thoughts because spoiler alert, it's coming. I'll
Mm,
get into it later. But I mean, there's a reason why we've all mentioned it so far, and that
it's so
game,
fucking
this
good.
that sequel coming out October 20th. Ooh boy,
Mm,
needs
need that
that,
shit
needs that.
immediately.
Let me tell you, I gotta wait to years for that to come on PC.
Yeah. Yeah, just can find a port online for that shit. Some shitty ass
Yeah, that
fucking.
would work.
Mm,
It'd be
So free.
botched. I get some viruses.
It's alright.
that's calm.
You can sign into my PS account and do remote play.
I would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game's
Yeah.
fucking. That game's gonna go massive. I'm literally freaking bricked up every day thinking about it.
Yeah, like I'm refusing to buy any other games up until that comes out because I want to fucking make sure I can buy that game and I can play that game and give it the time it needs because it's
Hmm.
gonna need it.
I feel like there's no really good games coming out this year besides that, though. It's like maybe I'm ill informed, but
Survivor,
Starfield.
Starfield,
okay.
the new Zelda game came out, which is really good. I know you don't care about it, but it
Nah,
is really good.
fuck
Yeah.
Nintendo.
So going into my number five, then uh, I'm giving it to BO2.
Hmm.
It's a fantastic COD game, one of the last good COD games. Um, and I just have so many memories as a kid with the 360, either playing it online with you guys or any of
Mm-hmm.
our other friends, or just playing zombies or gun game, or just fucking around with Jacob in our room when we were younger. Uh, it's got iconic maps. I think Origins
Oh
is
yeah.
still to this day my favorite fucking
It's a great map.
zombies map. The favorite Easter egg. I love doing the staffs. Just so much greatness about it. So it's a classic game, and to this day it still holds up to where you can go back and play it. Obviously, BO3 is easier to play and pretty much has the same fucking shit, but there's just something
Yes,
about
sir.
BO2 that just
BO2's
that hits
classic.
different.
I'll
Yeah,
give you
Yeah.
that.
exactly. BO2 is fucking classic,
Mm-hmm.
but that is my number five.
What you got for number four, Moist? What
The
you
deal.
got?
Deal.
Number
Stop fucking with
four.
those water bottles. You're making
Stop
noise.
fucking with him.
You're making a lot of
Oops.
noise.
Oops.
Number four. This is a one in the same category where I know it's not a great game, but I've put so many hours into this
Mm-hmm.
when I was younger in high school to
Say
justify it,
Overwatch.
and I did like it.
No, it's not over.
No, I'm giving
I
it.
know what it is,
I,
though. I know what it is, though.
I'm giving it to Destiny One.
Mm.
That
That's not
game,
what I thought
like,
it was.
nah,
I don't think
no,
that's a bad game.
no. Yeah, it was flawed, when it came out, and then they fixed it and
Yeah.
actually made it like good
I
for a while.
yeah. I
It
guess
was
when you've
just
been
like,
through the mud with it too, it's like you always have that differing
yeah,
opinion compared to someone
yeah,
who's like, "Oh, I played it every once in a while." Like you,
yeah,
you were in the rage,
yeah.
you were fucking
I
all
played
over
it
that shit. Like
throughout.
you
Yeah,
know.
I've done every piece of
Mm-hmm.
content in that game multiple times.
Jesus.
And
Yeah.
yeah, like I'm three separate characters. Yeah, I have,
Yeah.
I haven't, I have probably like 1,500 hours in that game. Like just yeah. But
Sheesh.
Destiny 2, trash. But Destiny 1, it was classic. It was like one of those like games where it's like you could just play forever because you always just want to grind for something else. Like there's just always
Mm-hmm.
like a new weapon, a new like thing you could get. And you're just itching for it. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's,
that's my number
It's a
four.
shame. I got into that game late, so like I didn't really have too much of an opinion on that game. Like I enjoyed it, but like I kind of like started to get into it like when Destiny 2 was coming out. It's like I didn't mind Destiny 2, but I'm sure it's
Yeah,
like when I mean it's like Overwatch 1 with Overwatch 2 where like really it's not that different. I
yeah,
mean, especially Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2, but
yeah,
like if you really played the first one, you know it's like all right, this is just a
yeah,
little quality of life shit that they just for
yeah.
some reason got rid
But
of.
yeah, Destiny 2, like now, like once they fixed it, they did the same shit where they like burged it up at launch, like absolutely gutted like all like the stuff that
how the
made it
fuck did they
good.
do it again? How's
Because
that
they
even?
they got they got rushed. They got rushed again by suits, and they were like, "Oh, well, like we need a release date for this year," and then they just like put it out, and it was just such
Yeah.
a dumbed down version. Like got rid of all the randomness and like everything, and made it super unrewarding,
Mm.
which is the
Oh
complete
yeah, I
draw of
remember
the
that.
game to begin with. And then they did the same
Mhm.
thing they did with the original Destiny, is they dropped the big DLC the next fall. That was just what the game should have been, and it was
Should have
good,
been.
Yeah.
Fucking
But now I
that
hear I
that
don't play it
should have.
anymore. Now I hear it's just a microtransaction city game.
Oh,
Ugh,
nice,
Yeah,
never that.
nice.
Absolutely
yeah,
never microtransactions.
yeah. That's number four.
All right. Number four, I'm giving to God of War 2018, and honestly, just God of War franchise in general. The original ones, obviously, they don't have that same level of like the tone
Storytelling.
is just a little different. Yeah, exactly. It's like they really weren't expecting them, especially the first two games. Like they really weren't expecting much to come of the games. But like the third one, they kind of tightened it up a little bit. Then you get the 2018 like soft reboot or whatever it is, and that shit's a fucking masterpiece. I'm not
I
gonna
mean,
lie to anyone
literally
who's listening.
honorable mention
If you
for
played the game, you played the most recent one, Ragnarok, that came out at the end of last year. Both you played both the games. You know that shit's just different, man.
I
It's just
forgot about
different.
Ragnarok. I need to play
Like
Ragnarok
Yeah,
still.
me too.
there's just the amount of like the sophistication like of Kratos' weapons, just the overall dialogue is just so beyond. I don't even want to say it's beyond its time because like there's games that are sure are like that, but it's just so more sophisticated than what you'd find in a lot of these games where they kind of just go for the explosions, the good graphics, the oh yeah, we got ray trace, blah 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 blah. Where they kind of just like they lose themselves at the story, and the story of Kratos and Atreus is just whew, that shit tough. That shit
Masterful.
fire.
I gotta tap into the second one when it comes to PC too.
Yeah.
I've been waiting on that.
Mm-hmm. It's, I mean, like everyone has differing opinions, but for mine, it's like the first one. The thing is, like, you can only get surprised once, so it's like like that story being told again is like, damn. It's like, I guess we're being like get told anew because obviously he's in fucking Norse land, Norse mythology.
Mhm.
But it's like when you play that first game and it's like, damn, so this is Kratos in Common Era, like actual like fucking good graphics and shit. The second one is great, but it's just missing. Like I don't even really know. It's just kind of missing like what the first game had, like that surprise of being like whoa,
Yeah,
like
the
God of War
end of
turned
that
from
game.
like
Yeah, that's a
I
great.
gotta return from being like those tiny ass like fucking stick figure freaking graphics kind of thing to like literally Kratos, like you can see the fucking like Thanos, you can see like the veins in his head, the veins in his arms. It's like this guy is and the guy who voices him in the newer games is a fucking goat. I love that man.
Yeah, that's
Forgot
true.
his name.
I don't remember off the top of my head either.
Yeah, it's all right, but
But
he looks exactly like how you'd expect him to look. Anyone who doesn't know,
yeah, he
the guy
does
who
a
voices
natural
Kratos.
with the voice, and like you
Mm-hmm.
said, the story between Atreus and Kratos is
Mm-hmm.
fucking
That's
ridiculous.
just so good. Like it's just everything you want from a game that has like you get a little bit of a Atreus, especially in the second game. You do play Atreus a lot more. Uh, it just got very diverse combat. Considering like at the end of the day, he's just a brute with a fucking axe slash blade slash literally all the other stuff you get. But like there's not like they really do add so much intrigue to a game where it's just like a slasher. I feel like in some parts where it's like you're just fucking cutting down enemies and shit.
Slugging through the mud.
Yeah, literally, you're just slugging through the mud for half the game, but the story that's told behind it is so fucking good, and like, the music, oh my god, don't get me started on the Ghost of Sparta. That fucking theme, that shit is fucking good, man. That shit makes me want to fucking blow my fucking head through a concrete wall. That shit fire.
It's
Yeah, but that's my
phenomenal.
number four. Yeah, it's beautiful. Oh, I love that game.
Going into my number four, um, this is a game that for me means a lot. I played it a lot as a child. I was excited when the remake came out. I played a lot of the remake when that came out. I watched a lot of. I don't know if anybody's watched Chugga Conroy. He does a lot of Let's Plays on YouTube, still to this day. And this was one of the first ones that I remember watching of his. That I've gone back and I've watched all of his stuff numerous times. And my number four pick is going to The Legend of Zelda: Majora's
Mm.
Mask. It's a darker Zelda. The story is phenomenal. The mask mechanic, the like you're limited to the 3 days, and I cannot express like how much like this game means to me, and it explores so much. Um, I'm trying to like put into words like because it just I have just have so many memories with this game
Mm-hmm.
with the amount of hours I put into it, with the amount of hours I've watched it. I've 100%ed it like 3 or 4 times. I used to play it so much. It I had it on the virtual console for the Wii. It's great, and it's my favorite Zelda game because of how different it is from the rest of the Zelda games. Like
As
yeah,
if for me, who knows, real quick, for me who knows nothing about Zelda, when did that come out?
the original came out in 2000, and then the remake came out in 2014.
Hmm.
But it's so different. There's no Zelda, there's no Hyrule, there's no Triforce. You're just Link trying to find his friend who comes across this weird world of Termina. And throughout the game, you don't know if it's real. You see, so the thing is the moon is falling, which is going to destroy the town or slash world, and you see all these people and how they deal with their last 3 days of life. Some people just going about their normal routine. Some people crying because they couldn't do this. And then you help them deal with it or help in more ways than one. It's phenomenal. If you ever have the chance to play it, I do highly recommend.
What's it on? I mean, what was the remaster on?
The 3DS.
Oh yeah, I got a 3DS. I got a 3DS.
So,
OMG.
Slide.
and I guess then I'll go with number three. We got another Nintendo game, and it is Super Mario Galaxy. I had Sunshine as an honorable mention, and Sunshine and Galaxy I kept flip flopping between because both of them are phenomenal games. But overall, I had to give it to Galaxy. It was the first game I got when I got my Wii. Pretty much, I think for my birthday in 2008, like the year after it came out, because it came out in November of '07, so I got it 2008. The Wii, the motion controls on it like worked so well. The story is great. The platforming is unique and challenging and fun. And I recently, when the All Stars pack came out in 2021, replayed through Galaxy on the Switch, and that's what really cemented it for me over Sunshine. Is it's just so much fun to play, even more so than like Super Mario Odyssey. And Odyssey is phenomenal. It's just fun to just fuck around with. It's got its flaws. Trust me, it's got its flaws. But you have all these cool power ups. You have all these cool levels. How the each planet has different like gravities to affect the platforming, and it's done really well.
Oh,
I remember most from that game. I remember the marketing campaign for that game a lot, like back in the
Really?
day. Yeah, when they were like, it was with the Wii. It was like a big selling point for the Wii. I remember when it just came out. 'Cause I never
Yeah.
had a Wii, so I never got to play it personally. But
Oh, you've never
I always
played it?
remember. No, I've never played that. Super Mario Galaxy.
I gotta
'Cause
let you
I don't
borrow.
know.
I gotta
We
let you
just
borrow
like
all
like once we had the GameCube, and then we went to like we had the
the 360.
PS1 too, and then
Yeah,
360, and then that was it. Like I never like went to
man.
the Wii.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind
I'll
of in
have to
that
let you
same wheelhouse.
borrow. I'll have to
Yeah,
let you
that's fine,
borrow
man.
3D All Stars pack because it's done really well for the Switch too.
Oh yeah,
Because like
I'll have to
the
tap
Switch
into
has
that.
motion controls and stuff, so
The
it's fun.
Switch.
But DL, I guess you want to go next.
My two. All right, yeah, sure.
Number three.
Number three. Number three is gonna have to go to finally a Nintendo game. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm not a big Nintendo guy, so like all these games Hag said, like I'm not really giving much of a reaction because I just don't know them. Like I'm sure there's people who are watching this who love Nintendo who are like, "That's a great pick," and I'm sitting here like, but um, it's gonna have to be Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire or Platinum. I really couldn't decide because Platinum is more of like a nostalgia kind of pick where like I'm kind of just like victim to all the great things that came with Platinum, even if the game is like obviously on a DS and a DSi. Like it wasn't the greatest looking game, sure, whatever, but just to get the story was for a Pokemon game, it was excellent. I just loved Sinnoh and Hoenn, and honestly Unova also are like those three regions are some of my are probably my favorites. But if I had to narrow it down, I'd probably give it to Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire just because Hoenn's my favorite. I know we had an episode, we had a post credit scene where we were talking about our favorite Pokemon regions way back when the
Yeah,
only real ones remember that shit.
that was an old
But
ass episode.
yeah, that was an oldie but goodie. Uh, it's gonna have to go to Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire just because Hoenn region is already fucking amazing, and then now you have an actual remaster because we're not gonna talk about BDSP because those are not remasters; those are fucking.
Ports, lackluster
Yeah,
ports.
thank you. Yeah, basically, yeah. It's like they're just bringing over the fucking everything that was in the old games and adding nothing. It's like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, the Delta episodes, that continuation of the story, just the whole Primal Groudon, Primal Kyogre. It looked a little ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie to you, like watching the morph and shit, and like jumping on Groudon's back and like walking through the mud and shit, talking to the lava. But there's something about like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Just like it's a shame because you see how well they can do a remaster, and then they put out BDSP, which is fucking
Which
mid.
we won't talk about here. And
Yeah.
this is another one where I'm not going to put any opinions on because
Mm-hmm.
I got
And for
much.
anyone who's wondering, it's Blaziken Gang for show. Anyone who is curious,
Moist.
Eat
Blaziken,
that.
Ludicolo,
Eat
Swellow.
that.
Don't
I'm
give it
about to
away
just cook up
yet.
my
Don't
team.
give it away yet. What are
No,
you
no,
doing?
that's not gonna be my team when we do it again. No. I'm just saying that like my OG team, I'd always get these guys because
Oh, okay.
Swellow's tough. Like he's normal flying's mid, but
I'm
he's fucking always
Pelipper.
got his
I'm a
check. He
Pelipper
always got
man.
his. Nah, come on. What are you showing
Drizzle, you're
me?
gonna tell me Drizzle with Swift Swim Ludicolo is not tough?
I'm gonna tell you, water flying gets smoked.
It's quad weak to
It's alright.
electric. But I mean, it's alright. Whatever. This is a debate for another time. Moist, would you like to give your?
I'm pretty sure he's a special defense guy too. I don't look. Hold on. I'm sorry, Moist. A little PSA, just in case anyone's wondering. I only use glass cannons. I
Yeah.
don't use no setups. I don't use no toxic protect. I don't use no substitute. Fuck that. Glass cannon. If I don't kill you in the first turn, I'm dead. It's that simple, and I'm okay with that. I'm completely okay with that. Sometimes we tank 2 hits. Sometimes we give him a focus slash. Sometimes we take 2 hits. Get sturdy.
But Moist, you're number three.
My number three is probably it's one of my favorite like games to play, like the feel of the game, like actually playing it is so fun. I'm giving it to Skate 3. I don't know if any of you guys ever played any of the Skate
Of
games,
course,
but
I played
Yeah, I
Skate.
played them.
yeah, yeah, Skate 3 is
Who
just
hasn't
like
played Skate?
it's open world. Like it has the control system was so like dialed in with like the flick stick, and like I could just ride around for like hours in there, like building parks, like making crazy ramps, like jumping off of them, just like doing you. That game is like such a good sandbox to just like do stuff in, drop things in. Like you can glitch that game so much too. It's so fun. Like just shoot yourself across the entire map, and you can still land it.
I've seen that before. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen
yeah,
like some hideous fucking.
yeah. That
That's
game is.
I was more of like a Madden person growing up, but I remember my Z had like I feel like I always played that game at like family events. Like whenever like the adults were out fucking adulting and shit, I'd always like that game would always be like just chilling in the. Someone would be
Mhm.
playing it, and I'd always
Yeah.
like
It's an
bust
easy
my
game
ass
for
because I was
anybody to
terrible
play.
at them.
It's an easy game.
I was just I was pretty ass at it. I'm not gonna lie. I was doing like a couple kick flips, and I was like, "That's it. I'm good. I don't got to do any more than that."
But it's easy to pick up and then just be like
Hmm.
for 5 minutes and then be like,
It
all
is
right,
entertaining.
Yeah.
Like it's fun. It's a fun game for like other people to watch you play, and I think
Yeah.
that's like a very underrated like thing for some some games. Like some games it doesn't fucking matter because it's single player and it's like whatever you're playing it in your room in the darkness of nighttime. But it definitely
Yeah.
gets
They don't
that
make them like that
benefit.
anymore. Where it's like that's just you're right. It's such a game like you could just watch play and you could be like, yo, go do this. Yo, what
Hmm.
if you put what if you did this
Yeah.
here? Like it's just yeah. That's a great point.
yeah, we need another game like that. But who knows if that'll ever happen?
Skate 4 is on the way.
Oh shit, that is that's
Yeah.
been it's been announced
They've
for
been
a
beta
minute.
testing it. Yeah, they're like the entire development process on that is like people playing it. Like they're not
Good, good.
like like they started it from nothing. They're like, hey, people could just play it and give us feedback on it, and they're just building it like as they go.
Cool. That's actually really cool. I'm definitely gonna make sure I do more research to keep up on that because whenever that's coming out, I'm gonna need to cop.
Needed him cop.
Yeah,
Needed
but
him dipped and boxed.
soon. But I guess then DL, what is your second favorite game of all time?
Oh, we ramping up now, baby. We ramping up. Okay, so I feel like I feel like I really should have like been specific. I feel like because I feel like I really have like it's like anything else. You could break it down the genres, like favorite single player game, favorite multiplayer, whatever. No more of that. Borderlands 2 is going to be my number two because it has, not to speak in hyperbole, the greatest gameplay loop ever. Uh, I have played that. It's like what you said with Destiny, Moist, where it's like you just get into it and you're just like, fuck it, let's do another character. Fuck it, let's do
Yeah,
another character. It's like
yeah,
I
exactly.
have like there was four. There was I think there was six with DLC or seven. The DLC characters were pretty mediocre. I was always a Zero guy. Me and Z literally Zero was that's one of the characters. He was so good that me and Z would play together. We both pick him because he's fucking broken as shit. You'd be able to go invisible and just fucking revive people and shit. But the gameplay loop is just something else with that game. Like just Borderlands 3 is all right. It definitely it's like any other follow up to an amazing game. Like it's just never gonna live up to the hype. Like Borderlands 2 was the story was actually good, something Borderlands 3
Mhm.
could not relate with whatsoever. The story was good. Handsome Jack is just he's one of those villains where
Yes,
it's like
Jack.
it's like in TV show and movies where like as soon as you leave that arc with that one villain, it's like so who's next now? It's like with Thanos and MCU. It's like all right, so now like who's gonna top that now? It's like you have Handsome Jack, who's just super charismatic and just a complete asshole, and it works because it's still like, technically a kids kind of game. Like it's like rated T, I think, or whatever. Whatever. I don't even honestly know. It's still like child friendly, I guess you could say, but it definitely deals with more. I don't know. Some of the concepts are I think are pretty cool. The
Yeah.
comedy is really good too, which is something that I feel like I never see in video games anymore. Like I feel like I'm never actually laughing when I'm playing a game. Like there's really is no comedy aspect to a lot of these games. Like it's funny, and the whole loot what's it called, loot shooters or whatever they're called, where it's
Yeah,
just
looter
completely
shooters.
RNG. Them shits
Mhm.
are fucking crack. Like it's literally
Yeah,
crack. Like as soon as you get that first legendary, you're tapped in. Like you get strapped in. It's like fuck, I need another one.
yeah. That
And
game
I
is so deep too with like
mhm.
the
Skill
guns and
trees.
stuff. Like yeah, and like how deep you can spec your character.
Oh yeah, no, it's because Borderlands 3 really did it up, and I will give them props for making Borderlands 3 like literally like the most customizable skill tree. Like you have so much in that game, but Borderlands 2 like there's almost like I can almost appreciate the simplicity, if you will, compared to Borderlands 3 because you have like three skill trees and you could really like you really can't max them all out because I think the max level is like 82 and there's probably like 100 or something like that. So you can't get all of them. So you really have to pick what build you want. And then it just goes into like whenever you have skill trees, I'm always like, I've said this before, I think on this channel, on this podcast before, like whenever you have a skill tree, it's just so interesting because you can go anywhere you want. It's so sandbox. Like it's so, all right, I literally just want to do straight damage. I don't give a fuck if I have any health or I want to be a tank or I want to literally be flying or something like, because some of their abilities, like the final ability in the skill trees, some of them are ridiculous.
Yeah, they make you
Ridiculous.
OP. That's the
Because
sign
that's
of
the
a
whole
good
point of
game,
it.
though. Yeah,
Yeah.
but you
It's
should
like you
feel
work that hard to
overpowered.
work down
Yeah,
that tree. Exactly. It's like you're working. That's like 50 levels to get down that tree. It's like, of course you should be fucking moving. You should be moving fucking moving different.
moving
Move,
proper.
yeah, exactly. You move dummy. Let me tell you about Zero. You move proper. When you get those kunais, that shit's ridiculous. You get to execute where you just lunge at them from across the fucking map. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I haven't played like as much as you, but I've played like that game. I've done a couple like playthroughs, like not really going
Mm-hmm.
that deep into end game stuff or like whatever,
Yeah.
but that yeah, Borderlands 2 is a great game.
It
I've
just
never
had a lot of
played
great DLC too.
Borderlands.
Like it had so much. It has so much to do. It's just one of those games where you really like you would be very hard pressed to find like just to be done with the game per se. Like there's always. I mean, obviously you could get to max level, you could complete all the DLCs, you could have the best guns and stuff, but that's gonna take you so long to the point where like when you get there, like you better be done with the game. Like you better not want to play that game anymore because it took you so long to get there. Where it's like you're satisfied is what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Yeah, but that game's tough. Whew. That's also a childhood. Like that's another one of those nostalgia picks where I lived on that game when I was like friggin' 15, 16. Like that shit was crazy.
Well, I guess then Mr. Moisture Deal was about to play with the water bottles again, but didn't realize he shouldn't.
Yeah.
Mr. Moist, what is your number 2?
My number 2. See, my next 2 games are kind of in that same vein of like sandboxy, like very like open games, give you the freedom to really like do what you want. Number 2, I have Skyrim, and
Ooh, yeah.
specifically
Okay.
like Skyrim with mods, because that's
Mhm.
that game.
Nah,
The amount of
I
like
feel like that's
things
all
you could
Bethesda
do,
games.
yeah, yeah, and the amount of like quests there are like in different like things. You could literally find yourself just like doing random stuff and like not even touch like the main story in like 30 or 40 hours of gameplay, where you could just like get your
Hmm.
guys so beefy, like do mad side quests and the side quests are really in depth. Like there's a couple like really good like story wise side quests in that game, like joining the Dark Brotherhood and stuff. And then like the mods is just ridiculous. Like you could literally like you can make it into like
Anything.
Star Wars. Yeah, you can make it into like anything you want. And they have like some high like resolution mods where you can just make it look like a modern game too. It's yeah,
Hmm.
Skyrim,
That's
great
crazy.
game. And it
Um,
was
that's another one that I've never really played like that.
yeah, that's like one of those
That's
games I
wild.
played like back in the day. And then like you then like they remastered a couple times and you play it again on like a new system and it has like mod support and it's like whoa, wow,
Yeah.
this
Oh
game's
yeah.
like really good,
They did that for like 3 generations of consoles. They were
Skyrim's on
so out of
so
pocket.
much. It's on so many different consoles. I think
Skyrim's
it's on
on
the
the
Wii.
fucking Switch, for God's sake.
Yeah, it's
No,
on the
it's not on the
Switch. Yeah,
Wii. It's not on the
okay.
Wii.
They've ported it to
That
so
game
many
probably
different
runs
things.
crispy on the Switch. It
It
probably
actually
runs
it runs
so nice.
it
Well,
runs fine
actually,
because the
yeah, it actually
Switch
runs. It was originally developed
it
for
runs
like
fine
the Switch's power.
for the 360.
Yeah.
Yeah, for something weaker than the Switch, technically.
Hmm. I just never think the Switch is a juggernaut for power.
I mean, it's not, but it can,
Mad
it
high
can run stuff
definition.
like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the
Hmm.
Kingdom and on Mario Odyssey, which are all
No.
beautiful, fantastic, huge
Yeah.
looking games.
Yeah, Skyrim for me was the same thing with GTA, where like I did the story, of course, but like I mean, it's like you said, where you can finish the story and it's like the game's not even halfway
Yeah.
done. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's like there's so much to fucking do. I'm just like, especially when I was younger, I just had such an obsession with just causing pandemonium. I did the same shit in GTA. Like I'd go to a village and just slaughter all of them, and then I'd fucking literally be like fucked because I'd be getting chased by all these guys.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh yeah.
fuck.
No, Skyrim will punish you for that. Like those, you'll just have hitters roll
Oh,
up on
dude.
you. Be like, yo, you
Yeah,
can't be
that's what
doing
I'm like. It kind of ruined my gameplay experience because like I did the same thing. I'm gonna take the glasses off for this one. There's one Call of Duty mission that there was C4. I just sat like 10 feet away from the mouth of a cave, just kept blowing my guys up because there was no friendly fire will not be tolerated in World at War. So I would literally just be sitting there for hours. It sounds smooth because it is because I was like fucking 15 years old.
But you just
I
doing
was
it.
I just tossed a C4 up on the wall, watched the boys run through because there was OD gibbing in that game too. Like you would have their legs blown up. They'd like be sitting there with their legs like kind of twitching a little bit. It was fucking vulgar. World at War was different, man. But
Those early game
shout out
engines were-
that them shits were crazy. Blood and Corkscrew was the name of the mission, I believe it was.
Jesus.
That shit was, and we had a Browning too, which would literally blow people's legs off. That shit was sickening.
Jesus.
A proper war game, also known as like not just fucking like the thrill of like the action of it, like an actual like gritty, nasty, like
Yeah.
unforgiving ass war game.
War game.
Mm-hmm.
When COD wasn't washed.
Yeah, it's a good segue.
Yeah.
Oh, am I up?
No, it's my number 2.
Fuck.
My second pick, I said I was going to talk about it earlier, and here it is. Spider-Man 2018 and
Yeah.
Miles Morales. I've looped them into one thing because I don't really
Mhm.
count Miles Morales as its own game. It's
It's
more
like a
of
DLC.
Yeah, it's a $50 DLC that didn't need to exist as a separate game, but it's
Mhm.
fine because it's still just as good.
Yeah.
I've played and 100%ed Spider-Man 2018 with all the DLC when it came out. I did it when it came out as part of the Miles Morales Day 1 edition. I did New Game Plus. I'm doing another playthrough now. I've played through Miles Morales. I've played through Miles Morales New Game Plus. I'm going to play through Miles Morales when I'm done with Spider-Man, all to get ready for Spider-Man 2. And the game is just phenomenal. The swinging feels amazing. You
Mhm.
feel like Spider-Man going through the city. You have so many different gadgets that
The
you
city looks fucking beautiful
the
too.
city
Like
the
that can't
city
be
is literally New
understated.
York City. You have so many
Mhm.
gadgets that you can use with the web bombs and the tripwires, the impact webs. You have not hundreds, but you have like 60 costumes or 50 costumes of all these different Spider-Man, all the suits of which most of the suits look great.
Mhm.
All of the different references.
Bombastic bag man.
Yeah, bombastic bag, man. Just so many like great costumes. You genuinely feel like Spider-Man swinging through the city. It's fun just to go around and do the collectibles and fight crime and do all these missions just because it's fun. The story is great, minus the fucking MJ missions. I fucking
Yeah, that
Oh
was.
yeah,
despise
those were
the
burger.
MJ missions.
I just don't even like if it's one thing if you're doing like a character that like is going to actually be a like God of War does it perfectly where like you kind of start playing Atreus more and more as the story's kind of shifting towards him. And the new one, sorry, I guess not really a spoiler for Ragnarok, whatever. Like that's how you should be doing it. It's like MJ has no purpose to the storyline besides like obviously I mean I feel rude to say it, but like she's Peter's freaking
Girl.
she's Peter's yeah, exactly. It's like
No,
Spider-Man is the focus of the story. It's like
yeah,
if it was
we
Miles you're playing as, that
well,
makes sense. Like that
we
you
did, and
do.
that's why I wasn't.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not as mad because we do play as Miles, but I'm
Mhm.
not as mad as that because it sets up his story for him getting bit
Yeah.
by the spider for him
There's a story to
have
be
his own
told,
game so that
basically.
yeah, exactly. There's a story with him where MJ just doesn't really mean much.
No.
But
And she ain't
besides
even
that,
looking that nice either. It's like Spider-Man would eat better than that. That's all I'm gonna say.
Peter Parker wouldn't though. But
Mm.
the story is phenomenal, and in 2018, Spider-Man made me cry fucking twice because of him in Infinity War, and then fucking watching the
Aunt
ending.
May. Mhm.
Watching the ending of him choosing between saving Aunt May or saving all of
Yeah,
New
that shit
York.
powerful. I mean
Like
that's why Spider-Man is so fucking good,
exactly,
man,
exactly.
because
That's
it's the
exactly what
duality.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man always has to choose.
And
He always has to choose.
it is so good, and Insomniac has done a masterful job with that franchise, and I cannot wait
Mhm.
for Spider-Man 2 to come out this year with them dealing because that gameplay trailer with Craven and that fucking
Yeah, the black
symbiote
suit.
suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, man, it looks so fucking good,
Hmm.
and thank
And
God,
the world itself just looks a lot more lived in too.
yes,
Like it was good in the 2018. I think that was the biggest. Like as soon as you hit Endgame, there was kind of like if you already completed the challenges, which I did. Like I kind of did them with the story
as the
missions. Like when I
story,
was in the
yeah,
area, so it's like as soon as you reach the end, it's kind of like all right. Like now it's like you can like 100% it. Sure, 100. Like I get that. But like I do like the idea of like where there's always something going on, like more so than there was in the 2018. Like you could really
yes.
see like this shit is fucking.
I'm very excited for what we're about to get, and
Mhm.
the fact that Insomniac is still making a Wolverine game after that too is piques my interest so much.
Mhm.
But like I've even gone out of my way of I've gotten the platinum trophies for both games. Like that's how fun and amazing these games are, and I can't speak highly of them. If you have a PlayStation or a PC, it's absolutely worth the purchase. I've even put Sav onto them this past year, and he's loved it because of how
Yeah.
fucking just good it is and fun, and the story is genuinely good.
Hmm.
I'm just convinced that you can't tell a bad Spider-Man story in Common Era. Like I've yet to be proven
Have you
wrong.
watched
Like
the Amazing Spider-Man 2?
I said Common Era.
That's
Common Era is a little bit more like, and
that is
yeah, I agree with you. It was Amazing Spider-Man 2, but like that's I feel like I feel like that wasn't Spider-Man / Peter Parker to begin with. Like Spider-Man ain't fucking doing dunks in the fucking gym.
yeah.
He ain't jumping from the free throw line.
Just don't read current comics or watch Ultimate Spider-Man or 2017 Spider-Man cartoons, and then then every Spider.
Yeah. Besides all the bad stuff.
Besides the Disney stuff, besides the
Yeah.
Disney only stuff, it's pretty.
Yeah. But the stuff I've seen is just I just really it's just so difficult for them to like. You have to try. You have to actively try to make a Spider-Man story not interesting because I mean it's I don't know. There's so much to it.
Also,
It's
Yuri
great.
Lowenthal, Yuri, chef's kiss to his performance as Peter. He is
Mm,
like the best, besides maybe like the '90s animated series Peter. He's like the best voice for Peter, in my opinion.
yeah.
I want him in everything as Peter Parker. He just does such a good job.
You pressed over how they changed his face.
Um, I've played the remaster more than I've played the original at this point, to where I'm used to
Mm.
it, so it doesn't matter much to me.
I mean, he's fucking
At,
Spider-Man
at
anyways. Like
first, it
he's
was
wearing a
jarring.
fucking mask.
Yeah,
He's wearing a mask half the fucking game anyways.
exactly. So it doesn't really matter. At first, it was jarring because it is a very
Hmm.
drastic
Yeah.
difference. But now I've played the remaster and Miles
Yeah.
Morales both to the point where it
Yeah.
doesn't. That's the face I see more.
Yeah.
So that is my second favorite game of all time. And who would like to go first with their favorite game of all time?
What you thinking, Moist? What you thinking? You want me to field this one?
Yeah, you gotta field this one for me.
I mean, to nobody's surprise, it's going to be a Call of Duty game. There's only games I haven't sent yet, and it's unfortunate too because there honestly are games that on my list that I like more than them. But when it comes to just like childhood, like friends, zombies is honestly the most like underrated of the bunch. Where it's like people kind of think, Black Ops 3 specifically. I don't know if I said that. People think of COD like obviously the multiplayer is massive. The campaign was a lot more important than nowadays, obviously. But the zombies that was like my own slice of heaven because everyone was playing multiplayer. Everyone was waiting for the new multiplayer DLCs. I'm waiting for new zombies maps. And when those zombies maps came out, they were fucking the wonder weapons, everything about them. I agree with you. Black Ops 2 has probably some of the best maps, but the Zombie Chronicles on Black Ops 3 basically just turns it
Exactly.
into
In Black Ops 2.
Mhm.
Agreed. Which is, but it's still missing maps that
Mhm.
are iconic that
I
I
mean,
love.
nobody needs Barry, nobody needs Transit, nobody needs
Very tough.
what's
Very tough.
another
Very tough. Transit's pretty good.
yes, yeah, that's actually yeah. I'm
You're
dissing
gonna
Barry
put
a little bit.
Transit's worth it.
Leroy just got me tight. I fucking hate that that massive guy who has to blow through
Yeah, getting
walls
them
and shit. He
tight
got
by
me
shooting
tight.
them.
Yeah,
Raygun,
it's
Raygun Mark
so
II
and
though.
like yeah, that's true. Yeah, the Raygun Mark II, and they did. That's also why I like Black Ops 3 is like it's a slim chance, but every map has the Raygun Mark II in it. Like very slim chance in the box that you can get it. But it's just
Oh,
like
we might have to play some
it
zombies this weekend.
it's just when you just like bring stuff over and you just like open it up like that, just being like, all right, here's basically all the fan favorites. Yeah, I'm sure we're missing a couple from Black Ops 2. We're gonna throw them in Zombie Chronicles. You're also gonna have the Gobblegums that we introduced in this game, plus we're gonna have the Ray Gun Mark II just in all the maps. So it's like it's so easy to make zombies increase the replayability. Like all you have to do is add a perk to the map. All you have to do is add another gun or add like something so small that just changes the whole unless it's a small map. Like obviously, I'm sure like there's maps that
The addition, I
like
will say,
knock like the first zombies map. You really can't do much to change that map. It's a fucking house.
the addition to Gobblegums in BO3 was also pretty interesting. Not all of
Yeah,
them are useful, but the
they're
ones that
fucking op
are,
as shit. Some of them are op
It,
as shit.
it
That's
adds
literally
a
the
new
only way I
layer.
beat the shit out of them. Not all of them. No.
I was like, Perkaholic is fucking stupid op. Getting
Oh
every
yeah. That ain't even the most overpowered one either. The most overpowered one is the shit where you stand beside someone and you res them. That's how I beat the Shadow Man, and that's the only way we beat the Shadow Man with me, Max, Xander, and Smoke. Because I was the only one up. You just walk up beside someone, you could be shooting, and you revive them just by standing near them. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it adds a new layer though to the game, you know, because then you could
Mhm.
replay it like, oh yeah, all right, I can get Perker Hall, can see how long I can survive here. Like, you know, you could just do
Yeah.
different things or Easter egg, you know, just
Yeah.
keep going for the Easter egg and not have
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and the Easter eggs.
30
I've
minutes of
done.
setup.
I've done every single Easter egg in every game
Yeah.
since World at War. Even the musical Easter eggs, if you count those, I've done those.
There's
Just
so fucking complex, man.
oh yeah, oh my god, yeah. We're not even gonna get into
Shadows of Evil is I don't think
Yeah.
I've done that one to this day.
It's just whenever you have ones that require 4 players, it's always such a mind fuck because it's just
I love that
it's
Easter egg, but it's
So much
yeah,
coordination.
and then like coordination and just I'd always try to get the Easter egg like first couple weeks because like you'd have Mr. Dalek, JD, and all them boys literally fucking
Grind.
sifting through code trying to figure
Yeah.
out this shit, literally just trying to figure out where the fuck these Easter egg like touch points are and stuff. So I'd always be trying to get that done really fast. So the game would be glitchy. It's like the amount of times I've been doing an Easter egg with like Z, my brother, and all that kind of stuff, and they would just glitch, be like, oh yeah, this part of the step, yeah, there's just no audio. Like if you need to hear audio, if you need to do something like that, yeah, just none of that. You have to restart the game. Like the amount of times that's happened to me, whoo, I was furious.
Jesus, that sounds painful.
Mm. And of course, multiplayer too. I'm not going to downplay the multiplayer. I am like prestige master level, like 500 in that game. So there's also that.
But zombies is the best part.
Yeah, but I will say that the movement system in Black Ops 3 the most fluid. It's not Advanced Warfare, that was too much, and it's not regular because that's not enough. It beat camping. There was like zero camp. I mean, there's always gonna be camping. It's fucking Call of Duty. But like in terms of like the actual people you can stop from camping, it was just the wall climbing, the little your little meter, like you could only jump for so long. The perks, like the guns. I mean, the guns are so fucking good. I'm a VMP man myself, but
VMP is a
everyone's got
great
their own
gun.
cup of tea. Yeah, my KD with that gun is disgusting. It is disgusting.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great first pick.
Mhm.
Moist.
I'll follow it up. I put a recent one, and I don't know if it's recency bias or not, because I kind of went back and forth on this in another game that I didn't mention, because I want to give this game its full stage. I'm gonna give it to Elden Ring because that
Okay.
game is just like
I've been trying so
an
hard to get into that
absolute,
game,
like-
man. I've been trying so hard.
I put it up there and I still haven't even got to like do like things I want to do, you know, because it's just so like big. Like it's like a technical marvel too, because there's so much like in-depth open world. Like that world is just like every inch of it has something you can do, and like there's so many different things, like so many different possibilities. Like you can make anything work. Like they have like stupid weapons where it's just like 2 like spikes on your hand or like Wolverine claws or something, and like you could just make that work and like one shot bosses and stuff. And that game is just like yeah, and like the magic and like the builds, like everything is just crazy about that game. And like it's hard, you know, it's a Souls game. What? Oh, I'm a glass cannon. I just grab a great sword.
Yeah,
fucking strength.
Yeah.
Strength dex.
Yeah, so there's something about glass cannon builds in every game. Like literally, no matter what game I play, I'm always a glass cannon build. It's like, 'cause like it's not fun just sitting like tanking damage. Like fuck that.
It's like I'm not trying to spend like 30 minutes to beat a boss. It's either I'm one-shotting you or you're one-shotting me.
Or I'm getting one-shotted. Yep, exactly. That's why the new game plus sub mechanic in Fallen Survivor is so tough. Where you basically just do like it's like realistic damage. It's like literally if you hit a guy once, he's probably gonna die. If he hits you once, you're probably gonna die. It's like I'd rather have that than just slashing nonstop. Like it's a lightsaber, man. For fuck's sake.
Yeah, it should do a lot of damage.
Yeah, but I gotta beat Elden Ring. It's still downloaded on my console. It's still on my PlayStation, but it's just it beat
it's
the
hard to
piss out
find
of me.
time for. Yeah, because it's like if you're not like already good at those types of games, like it's like
Souls
the
games
learning
always
curve
beat my ass.
Yeah. It's like yeah, because then you got to deal with like the hardness of the game and also like there's so much to do, you know.
Yeah. Like literally the first map area of the map that I got into, I was getting smoked by this one fucking guy, bro. He was laying into me. I'm like, because then all of a sudden you have your EXP and all your stuff is there. I'm like, bro, I gotta go back. I gotta fight him again. Then I just ran. I literally took my shit and I ran. He was chasing after me and shit. It was terrifying.
Yeah, they purposefully do that, because they're trying to be like,
Hmm.
or like, I don't know, they're like that game's so good because it's so freeing. Like it's different from a Souls game because it's not like a set path, but like
Yeah.
it's kind of telling you like, hey, like if you're good, yeah, you could beat this guy because like you could
Yeah.
do anything, But
Yeah.
it's like, or if you just like explore around, like look around, find some new things, level up a little bit, then you can just like.
Yeah.
But they're very punishing games, like
Hmm.
to the
Oh yeah.
max.
Oh my god. Yeah. It's one of those things where like I fear for the safety of my controller when I play that game.
Yeah,
Like I
it's
like I've
tough.
Lots of rage.
it's like when I'm fighting a boss and all of a sudden it's just like he's so close and he just fucking lays into me like don't.
Hmm.
I'm just like gonna fucking throw my controller and just like turn off my
Yeah.
PlayStation. Like I'm done. No
You
more
get
for
him to
today.
like, yeah, you finally figure out the pattern. You get him to like he's
Hmm.
about to die, and then he
And
pulls
then,
out like the last move he's coded to pull out some different move to try to like, and you just die, and it's like, all right, time to spend 30 minutes whittling him down
yeah.
again.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah, because like as
brutal.
soon as you get that, whenever you have like a boss, like as soon as you get like that last chunk of the health bar, I'm always playing so fucking conservative. Like I'm not trying to get caught lacking. And then like you could play too conservative, and it's like, all right, I got to do something. Then you finally decide to swing, and then you get fucked. It's like, oh.
Yeah, but then when you finally beat it, it's so rewarding.
Hmm.
You're just
Oh,
like,
oh
oh,
yeah.
you're just
Hmm.
like, oh, and you get some
But you got
epic.
to get there first. I got to get there first.
Yeah, that's
But
my
good
number
pick.
one. I don't know
That's it.
if you want to go Hag.
Very good pick. Yeah, I mean, I think, especially for anybody who knows me, this is a surprise to absolutely nobody. But I can't pick just one.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I can't pick just one. So I have to give it
Look at
just.
rappers when they got like the bands to their head and when they got like the fucking
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
band on there. That's what he. That's Hag with the fucking games with the cartridges.
Yeah, pop out on that Hag.
Yeah.
But I have to give it to the Pokemon franchise as a whole. Um,
Respectable.
as I said with Fire Red, that was my first game I've ever played, or one of the first games I have memories of playing, and it's just playing through that, then playing through Diamond when that came out, playing through Soul Silver when that came out, playing through Black when that came out, X, Omega Ruby, Ultra Sun and Moon. I've played through every single game. Literally, I've played through Diamond, Pearl, well, not Pearl, because that's like the only game I don't own, but I played through Diamond, Platinum, Heart Gold, and Soul Silver. I played through everything. I put so many hours into everything. I have a living form dex. It's just Pokemon to me is just so fun to just dive in. I love building new teams. I love using new Pokemon. Of course, I have my favorites, but
You ever play any of the emulator games? Those ones
I
are
have not.
really fucking good.
I
There's
have
some
not.
really. There's a really good remake on Soul Silver and Heart Gold. I forgot what it's called. Oh me, I used to be all up in that
I
shit.
never
'Cause
really
that's
had
when.
a PC. I've never had a
Hmm.
PC.
I had a ROM emulator on my phone when I used to have an Android because that shit's so easy on
Yeah,
Android.
it
An
was so
iPhone is fucking literally pulling
Yeah.
teeth,
impossible.
but on Android, it's I had because then you could have the games downloaded, then you could get like rare candies and shit if you wanted to just fuck around. Like it was so open ended for the
Once once
emulators.
I once I get a PC, like I want to do some of those like emulator ROM hack games.
Yeah, I forgot the
Um,
name of it. It was so good. Like there was one that like everybody knew. I forgot. Fuck.
but it's just Pokemon to me. It just means so much. I love playing through every single one of them. I love just looking through my Pokemon home and shiny hunting and just all of. I just it's just so much fun, and I will always be excited for new announcements. I will always buy the
Mm,
games the day of launch. I literally have everything here, even fucking Brilliant Diamond.
nah.
Unfortunately,
Miss me with that.
there's a couple of games I'm missing. I mean, I'm missing Pearl, I'm missing Shining Pearl, and I'm missing Violet. But besides that, I have everything.
That's crazy.
Um, but yeah, I'm currently playing through White 2. If anybody's curious, going pretty well so far. Where's my DS? My DS is
Who'd you pick?
not in my vicinity. Embor.
Oh.
I got Embor, Galvantula, Golduck, Flygon, Crocodile, and fuck, one more that I and Reuniclus. never used a Reuniclus because I've always played through black. So
God damn it! What the hell was the name of this freaking game, man? It's Ethereum. I thought it was Light Platinum, but it might not. Oh yeah, it is. Yay!
you found it.
Yay! Yeah. That shit's fucking gas. God damn it! I played this. I played that game more than I played fucking
The real one.
Platinum. Yeah, that shit is fire. I
Platinum.
mean, I'm also a sucker. It's like when you give me cheats, I'm gonna play the shit out of the game because I'm lazy when it comes to some games. Like if you don't give me the option to train my guys, I'm gonna cheat. I'm sorry. Like if you don't give me like if you don't have audio training like they had in Black and White, like I'm gonna fucking try my hardest. Like Smoke knows because me and him were talking about this the other day. The action replay, more specifically, putting in the code yourself, putting in like hundreds of lines of just fucking mind numbing, like AC125. Like it was fucking mind numbing. And then half the time it wouldn't even work because you'd get one of the characters wrong because it's like 120 lines of fucking code. Like that shit was sickening. And then of course inevitably it would break your DS. I went through like 5 DSs.
Jesus.
I mean, 5DS is like with me, Smoke, and AJ, like combined. Not myself. Oh my
I
god,
was
no!
gonna
Holy
say
shit!
that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
But
I remember they had that shit on the top shelf too. They're like, "Oh yeah, where's your parent?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, you know this is gonna break the DS." Right? Like, "No, it's okay, mom. It's okay, mom. I want to get rare candies."
exactly. I want to walk through walls.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to freaking use a modifier, bro. Yeah, the modifier was golded.
I think my original copy of Soul Silver is still the one from back in the day when I used the action replay to get 999 items. I think I have to look at it, but I'm pretty sure it is because this is my original. All of these copies here are my original copies, except for Platinum, which belonged to Jared that I mentioned earlier. The rest of these are my original copies that I purchased on day of release, which is
That's
sick.
crazy. Yeah.
Like I've literally had this diamond since 2008.
That's impressive.
Jesus.
Yeah. I lost like that entire generation of games. The earliest game I have is like Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
Yeah, but I guess that's pretty much it. That's our top 5. Each of ours video.
Wasn't
games.
easy.
No, it was not
Yeah, it's a
easy,
tough
and it will
list.
probably change.
We could have talked about many more games for many more amounts of time.
Oh my god, I forgot Witcher 3! Ah!
Yeah,
I forgot
was
Witcher
thinking
3,
that-
The Wild Hunt!
I thought that about The Last of Us. I was like, oh shit, I forgot that.
Mm-hmm.
There's too
Care
many.
about
There's
that,
just too
brother.
many games. Yeah.
There's so
Mhm.
many great games,
Yennefer.
and we're excited.
Ooh, Triss. Oh.
Triss.
Ooh. I like how they had like them specific. Like if you're an ass man, you're Yennefer, and if you're a tits man, you're fucking Triss. Like that's goated. That's fucking goated. You had to.
But many games that we can't look forward enough that we can. What am I trying to say here? Many games that we're
I don't
looking
know.
forward to cover in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh yeah.
before we do that, we are going on a little bit of a month and a half break. We do plan to come back the first week of August. And when we do, DL and I will be covering Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Let's go.
Fantastic games. We're excited to cover Pokemon games first because we're both big fans of the franchise. So we're excited to tap into this before we get into a little more story-driven games because this is a little more fun for us at first. But DL, did you decide what copy you're doing? Are you doing Omega Ruby or you're doing Alpha Sapphire?
I got to see what copy I have. I'm not sure. I'm like because we had Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire at one point, but these fucking animals in my house, they lose shit every day. Like literally, I had to rummage. I was slugging through the mud. I was picking through dust. Like there was dust on these boxes. I was fucking looking through, like trying to find these games.
That's why you leave them. Look,
You see what I got right here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's easier when it's easier when it's one person keeping track of it. It's like try to put
One
3
piece
people in
has
charge of
everything.
inventory and see what happens. That's fucking crazy. That's cool.
Something nice.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is White 2, which is in my DS right now, and this is a space for whenever the fuck I get Pearl.
Never.
that probably because that shit's probably like $100.
Mid too.
This is just I love looking at this. This is just fun to look at.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool.
But stay tuned because the first week of August we will be back with our playthroughs of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. So we hope you're excited to see how we're about to do that and how we will talk about that. Of course, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Moist, for joining us.
Of course, thanks for having me, fellas.
Of course.
Appreciate the slide. Needed that off you.
And stay tuned for the Instagram because we do plan on doing another poll for you guys or another tourney, whatever the fuck it's called, to see what you guys want to see.
Bracket.
You know, bracket. Thank you. We got some TV shows that we want to toss in the mix. We got some video games we want to toss into the mix, and of course, as always, we also have some movies that we have are look forward to covering. So thank you guys for season 2 of the Staincast, and we will see you in about a month when season 3 starts.
Chode reveal live at 200 followers on Instagram.
Need
That's
that.
true.